Back in early 2003, drifting in Aotearoa emerged from the underground into the world of motorsport. Several teams from all over New Zealand came together to organise and regulate events nationwide, developing competition formats on race circuits and bringing drifting off the back streets. And with that, the Drift Club of New Zealand was born, with its mission to promote and educate New Zealand drift motorsport in a safe environment. The cars have come a long way since those old days. Back then, roll cages were optional, good suspension was cut springs, GoPros hadn't been invented, and race boots were definitely not in fashion. But with the rise of competition, so too came the development of a new era of professional drifting.
Yeah, well, you did right. Gone are the days of the likes of that, the cut springs and the just go out there and drift sort of attitude. So now we've got these pro cars, $200,000-$300,000 cars that we're bringing to the field, and it's wicked to see the progression going through. It's almost exciting to see what the next step is going to be after this, because the position we're in now with these high horsepower monsters, it's very exciting to see.
Yeah, so the level of drifting in New Zealand now has come up a lot. In the last 6 years, the standard of car has come up a lot. The standard of grip, so basically with drifting, grip, power, and that's all come up to a really high level. And then obviously the drivers on top of that. So drifting around the world is growing fast. The guys in the US, the guys in Japan are pushing the levels, and I think New Zealand is also pushing the levels. So yeah, it's really come up, and it's, as a driver, there's a lot less room for error to pull something off. So you've got to be really on the point.
Sky's the limit, mate. We're obviously limited to a tyre, but innovation and designs of now steering knuckles and rear hubs to get grip, to suspension travel and shock settings, and it's huge. It's like we're track racing, These guys are corner weighting their cars, getting them set up with that ride height between a couple of mil. We're doing exactly the same. It's a drift car, So it's a sport that is growing, and I don't think it's ever going to stop, because there's so much progression, there's so many things we can figure out to make these things hook up better, get more angle, get more speed, to put on way more of a cool show.
The D1NZ Championship follows the base regulations set out by Schedule D1 and Schedule DR under Motorsport New Zealand, the FIA appointed governing body of motorsport in the country. The series has been propelled to the forefront of professional motorsport, with nearly 1 million spectators coming through the gates to witness world-class competition. Many of New Zealand's top drivers have represented the country overseas, with success in Australia, Japan, the USA, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, China and Europe. The competition has had phenomenal development over the last decade, with many teams fielding multi-car campaigns, with vehicles producing anywhere between 400 and over 1,000 horsepower. Throw in some turbos and some superchargers, semi-slick tyres, a sprinkle of nitrous oxide, and you've got the recipe for a spectacular field of high-octane drift monsters competing for the most prestigious prize in Australasian drifting.
Yeah, so we've been involved probably 10 or 11 odd years, and I remember coming and watching it when I was circuit racing, and the boys were skidding around in pretty much standard road cars, and they were pretty basic. Now you just look at the progression of the sport and how much it's changed just even in the last sort of 2 or 3 years.
Man, even a couple of these guys that have come out of pro sport, they're killer drivers, man, there's still good competition here, and then there's also other DKs, Cole Armstrong, he's still charging, Carl Thompson, man, he's got a weapon of a car, it sounds good, and he's getting it home with his setups, and the Jenkins boys, so there's the Steedmans, and Adam Davies, he was second in the championship last year, so man, there's a challenge here. And it's a start to a new season, so bring it on.
While D1NZ is now in its 17th season, only 9 drivers have held the iconic Pro Championship trophy. Over the years, we've seen our share of magic moments, dramas, controversies and legends. Who could forget the rivalry between Team Drift Corp and WSR?
King of Chasers really pushing on Adam's back door.
The rise of international drift superstar Mad Mike and his flame-spitting RX-7. Or what about the young prodigy from South Auckland, Nico Reed, the People's Champ, winning 4 events in a row.
But Nico is not giving up. So all my sponsors and fans.
The number 4 might just be the magic number to beat. Gaz Wider, the humble builder from Northland, New Zealand's most successful driver with 4 championship titles. Last year's winner Darren Kelly joined the elite ranks of New Zealand drifting, piloting the Nissan R35 GTR to his 2nd Drift King title.
From the days that we used to come to the track and be the guys in the crowd, those were the guys that we were watching. Gaz getting 3 times in a row, 4 times. Yeah, guys like Cole, Dana, Kurt, amazing drivers, and it's pretty special to be in the same league as those guys.
While Darren might be the defending Drift King, there's a new challenge for the 2-time champion, joining the judging officials for the 2020 series. There's been some big changes in the off-season. Former line judge Brendan Dunker steps into a new role as technical advisor, with a number of new faces joining the judges lineup. The rulebooks also had a few tweaks, with one of the biggest rule changes seeing 1 more times now going direct to sudden death, giving teams only 1 opportunity for a rematch during a battle. There's new and returning faces to the driver lineup in 2020. The popular RB icon Zach Pohl makes his return to the Pro Series. Last year's Pro Sport Development Series winner Michael Thorley making a step up into the Pro Championship with a new RB powered 180 SX.
So I'm Mike Thorley, I drive the NZ Nissan 180 SX. Fresh new car, it's got an RB30 in it, headwork by Ross at Top Tune. It's got a Merch MSC turbo on it, Tex Racing 4-speed gearbox, Winters changed diff, just trying to be a reliable package. I'm keen to bang doors of anyone here, like they're all top drivers, and for me stepping up, I'll bang doors with everyone if I can.
Tokoroa's finest Taylor James also makes the move into the Pro Series behind the wheel of a refreshed RB powered S14 Sylvia.
My name's Taylor James from the Central Drift team. Drove an S14 RB30. Same car we used in Pro Sport last year. We are building another car, but that's not quite finished yet, so hopefully see that sometime this season. We've done a few track days in the off season with the 265s, a bigger tyre, but we're slowly sort of getting used to the more grip and more speed, and hopefully it'll work out in the end.
Tauranga's Kurt Blackie also makes the big jump into the Pro Championship behind the wheel of a new V8 powered GT86.
So the car behind me is a GT86. It's a LS based motor. Brand new car for me. I've come from a Skyline, so big chassis RB man. So it's very different, and slowly getting my head around it though. Yeah, I don't want to set my goals too high, but I'd love to be in that mid to top end pack. I've got the car to do it, so it just comes down to my driving and get the job done.
And the big news pre-season was the return of Australian drifting champion Jake Jones, scoring a full season drive in the 2JZ powered Galore Parts Group GT86. This year, D1NZ forms a 5-round calendar as part of the Speedworks Motorsport Series, with a mix of circuits and stadium events, visiting Bay Park Speedway in Tauranga, Hampton Downs Motorsport Park in the Waikato, Pukekohe Park Raceway in Auckland, and for the first time ever, the D1NZ Pro Championship heads to the deep south to take on Teretonga Park in Invercargill. Who will be the next New Zealand Drift King? This is the 2020 Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship Series.